and welcome to the eighth lecture of the series of feedback amplifiers. And till date, we have discussed in detail that what are the basic requirements of feedback amplifier, basic principle behind the operation of feedback amplifier, and we have also derived the equation of RIF, ROF, gain of different configurations of feedback amplifier. And we have seen that how negative feedback helps us to desensitize the gain of the amplifier, and ultimately it will increase the stability of the operation of feedback amplifier. Now from this lecture onwards, we will be discussing about the analysis of feedback amplifier. That is the numerical part, and we will learn today, we will initiate that how we can analyze the feedback amplifier, and we will learn the steps of that. So let's begin. So these are the outlines of today's lecture. First, we will see that how the analysis will be done, that is the steps involved for the analysis, and then we will be discussing an example of feedback amplifier analysis by applying the steps involved, and that analysis will be focused on the voltage series configuration, and then we will discuss about the outcomes and the questions related to this particular lecture. So steps for analysis. So basically we have to separate the feedback amplifier into two blocks. First block is known as the basic amplifier A, and second block is known as the feedback network beta. Why we are interested in separating these two blocks? Because we know that by evaluating the gain A and feedback network beta, we can easily determine the value of the desensitivity D. And once we get the desensitivity value D, then we can easily calculate the RIF, ROF and gain calculations. So the idea is to separate the blocks of feedback amplifier into two parts, and the basic amplifier A without feedback will be drawn. But when we are talking about without feedback, we will not ignore the values of or the loading effect of beta network. What it is, we will discuss when we will discuss the example of the numerical, and then I will tell you about the loading of the beta network. So after separation of these two blocks, following are the steps we will be following. And first is the identify the topology. How we can identify the topology? By knowing the two factors, and that we know that if the sampled signal is voltage, or if the sample signal is current. If it is current, then current sampling. If it is voltage, then voltage sampling. If the signal is mixed in the form of the current with the source voltage, or if it is mixed in the form of the voltage with the source voltage, and depending upon that we'll be deciding that is it going to be series mixing or is it going to be shunt mixing. So by knowing this topology, we can determine that what kind of analysis we have to adopt. Second step is draw the circuit of basic amplifier A without feedback. As I have already told you, we have to draw the basic amplifier A without feedback, but we will not ignore the loading effect of beta network. And how we can draw the network? So to find out the input circuit, this is the first step to draw the network. To find out the input circuit, if it is the voltage sampling, then we have to short the output node, and if it is the current sampling, then we have to open the output loop. These are the important steps, we have to remember it. So if I am interested in drawing the input circuitry of my feedback amplifier for the analysis, then I will be short circuiting the output node, or open circuiting the output loop, depending upon whether I am sampling the voltage or whether I am sampling the current. Next step is the output circuit. How to find out the output circuit? So output circuit will be dependent on what kind of mixing we are doing at the input side. If it is shunt mixing, then I have to short the input node, and if it is series mixing, then I have to open the input loop. Okay, so if you remember, when we mix the feedback element with the source voltage in the shunt form, then in which form it is done? It is done in the current form. Current is going to be mixed with the source, so I cannot off the current, so Vi is going to be 0. Similarly, when I say that I am going to mix the feedback element with the source voltage in the form of the series mixing, then definitely that will be the voltage, so I cannot drop the voltage, I cannot make the voltage equals to 0. So what is the remaining is the input current, and same theory is applied here also. So likewise, you can remember that as I already told you many a times earlier also, that mixing and sampling are the two different things, and we have to remember it with the basic concept that sampling and mixing are in the opposite nature, and accordingly we have to follow these steps when we are following the drawing of input and output circuitry. Now, when we have determined that what kind of sampling is done and what kind of mixing is done, we can use the Thevenin's or Norton source accordingly. And similarly, we can also replace the active device with proper model. And when I'm saying that active device with proper model, it means that whether it is going to be low frequency model or whether it is going to be high frequency model. So if it is low frequency model, then I have to draw the H parameter model, and if it is high frequency model, then I have to draw the pi model of the network, that is the active device. Active device means the transistor. Now after knowing the steps of what sampling is done, what kind of mixing is done, and we have replaced the network with relative sources, and we have also found out how input circuitry and output circuitry will look alike, then we can definitely go to the final step of evaluation of A and beta by applying KCL or KVL, whatever is needed, and then by knowing the value of A and beta, we can definitely calculate that how DAF, RIF and ROF can be calculated. So this is the summary of what we have already learned, and how we can analyze the feedback amplifier on the basis of different parameters. Just for a glance, we have to look at it. These are the 4 different configurations that we have studied: voltage series, current series, voltage shunt and current shunt. So when I'm saying that voltage series configuration is there, then I have to say that we are sampling the voltage, and if it is current series, I am sampling the current. I already told you that the first element always tells me that which sampling is going to be done. So if it is written voltage, it is voltage sampling. If it is written current, it is current sampling. So accordingly, you can identify that which kind of sampling is done. Now feedback signal. Feedback signal depends upon the second term, that is series or shunt. If it is series mixing, that feedback signal will be added with the source voltage in the form of the voltage, and if it is shunt mixing, then feedback signal is added with the source in the form of the current. So when I am writing series, you can easily see from this table that I am using the feedback signal as voltage, and if I am writing a shunt, then I am using feedback signal as current. Okay. Now in the previous slide, we have seen that how we can find the input and output circuitry. So if it is voltage sampling and I have to find out the input circuitry, I have to make the VO equals to 0. Here you can also say if it is voltage sampling, and if I am interested to find the input circuitry, then I have to make the output voltage equals to 0. Similarly, if it is not the voltage sampling, if it is the current sampling, then I have to make the output current equals to 0. Okay, and if I am talking about the output circuitry, then the relationship going to be reversed. You can see from here, if it is series mixing, here it is series mixing, here it is series mixing. In both, I have made II equals to 0, because we are adding the feedback element in the form of the voltage with the source. And if it is shunt mixing, these two cases are shunt mixing cases, then I have made Vi equal to 0 because I am adding the feedback element in the form of the current with the source. So accordingly you can remember. Now since it is going to be the Ia equal to 0, then obviously we have to make the Thevenin's sources because we are interested in mixing in voltage form because we are doing the series mixing. And if it is shunt mixing, last two columns, then obviously the forms will be of the Norton's form because we are mixing the currents with the source. Accordingly, we have defined the value of the beta. Beta is nothing but, what is beta? Beta is the feedback factor, and feedback factor is nothing but what kind of feedback we are getting upon where we have got the feedback. That is, if I am saying that I am interested in voltage series configuration, then what my feedback signal is? Feedback signal is voltage and sampled signal is also voltage. So I have written here Vf upon V naught. Now come to the current series. Current series, the feedback signal is voltage and the sampled signal is current. So I have written it Vf upon I naught. Likewise, you can go through the last column. Now A, when I'm saying AA is nothing but the open loop gain of the amplifier. That is when we have not applied the feedback. So if it is voltage series configuration, it is known as AV. AV is nothing but VO upon VI. And if it is current series configuration, it is known as transconductance gain GM, which is nothing but I naught upon VI. Similarly, trans resistance V naught upon II. And similarly, the last category, that is the current shunt, which is nothing but current upon current I naught upon II. So depending upon what kind of amplifier we are choosing, we have to define the different gains, and this we have studied in detail in lecture number 1, lecture number 2, and the corresponding lectures of all these configurations. So you can go back and see how we can define this. Now similarly, we have also defined the value of D, that is the D sensitivity. If it is voltage series, then it is known as 1 plus AV beta. If it is current series, then it is known as 1 plus GM beta. If it is voltage shunt, then it is known as 1 plus RM beta. And if it is current shunt, then it is known as 1 plus AI beta. I have also discussed that how we can find out the value of AF, RIF and ROF in different configurations analysis. But just to summarize, if I am interested to find the feedback with gain, that is AF, then I have to divide the individual gain A by the desensitivity factor D. So A upon D, it is nothing but A upon D. So A is replaced with the corresponding values of the gain, that is AV, here it is GM, here it is RM, and here it is AI. So I have to find out the A and D, and then I can easily find out the AF. Similarly, if I am interested in finding the value of RIF, see, how can we remember by having this trick that whether we are mixing in the series form or we are mixing in the shunt form. If you want to remember always that if RIF is going to be increased or decreased, you can just look at here. If I am mixing in series form, so Ri is always going to be increased. Ri is multiplied with the factor of D, that is the desensitivity. And if I am mixing in the shunt form here, then you can say that Ri is always going to be decreased, Ri upon D. So input impedance increases when I am mixing the feedback element in the series form, and input impedance is always going to be decreased if I am mixing the feedback element in the shunt form. Similarly, if I talk about the ROF value, you can here easily determine that here it is RO upon D and here it is also RO upon D. What kind of sampling we are adopting? Look at here, RO upon D, voltage sampling, here it is also voltage sampling. So if I am sampling the voltage, RO is always going to be decreased. And if I am sampling the current, look at the column number 2 and column number 4. When current sampling is done, RO is also going to be multiplied, or is always going to be multiplied, sorry. So likewise, you can determine that whether Ri is going to be increased or decreased and RO going to be increased or decreased. So let us go and see that how we can apply the different steps that we have learned in the previous slides to actually analyze the circuit in hand. This is the example which I have taken. This is the example of emitter follower circuit, and we know that emitter follower circuit is nothing but a common collector circuit. If you remember, emitter follower is nothing but common collector circuit. Okay, so my first step is to identify the topology. What kind of topology this circuit is particularly using. So how we can identify the topology? By knowing the sampling and by knowing the mixing. So for sampling, just follow this small thumb rule, that if I put V naught equals to 0, and by putting V naught equals to 0, if Vf vanishes, then I can conclude that the given sampling is voltage sampling. Okay, so now you can see from this particular figure that V naught is applied across Re, and Vf is also available across Re. So both these elements are available across Re. So you can say that V naught equals to Vf, because we know that the two voltages are appearing across the same resistance, that is going to be equal. So if I make V naught equal to 0, the Vf also is going to be equal to 0. So I can say that by making Vf 0, we can by making V naught 0, we can make Vf 0. So this is going to be the voltage sampling for me. If it is not the case, then I will consider the next case, that is the current sampling. So here I can easily say that the sampling is voltage sampling. So sampling is voltage. Okay, and now when I am talking about the feedback, see, this is my input terminal, which is the base, and this is my output terminal, which is this is my output terminal, which is emitter. Now I cannot see any direct connection between this base and this emitter. Can you identify any direct connection of feedback between this base and emitter? Certainly not. So whenever there is indirect connection between the input and output terminal of this circuit, then you can easily say that the mixing is done in the series kind of form. If this trick is not working for you, then you have to see that whether the feedback element is in series with the source voltage Vs, or is it connected in the parallel with the source voltage Vs. So these are the two things you have to remember. You can either determine that whether the input terminal is directly connected with output terminal, or you can determine whether the feedback element is in series with the source voltage or in parallel with the source voltage. So likewise, you can say that whether the mixing is in the series form or whether the mixing in the shunt form. So here we can already we can say that the mixing is done in the series form. Okay, so what topology we have determined here? We have determined here that the topology is voltage series configuration. This is the first step. So we have determined the topology is voltage series configuration. Then we can easily move to the second step, that is the drawing the basic amplifier A without feedback, and we cannot ignore the loading effect of beta. So how we can determine it? We have already seen that if I am interested to find out the input circuitry, then I have to make the voltage equal to 0. Since it is the voltage series, we are sampling the voltage, and if we are sampling the voltage, then I have to make the V naught equal to 0. So if we make V naught equal to 0, you can see from here, if we make V naught equal to 0, this particular resistance is short circuited. And what kind of components available in the input circuit? This is the Vs, this is the Rs, and this is the basic amplifier A. So you can see from here, this is the Vs, this is the Rs, and the amplifier A is replaced with the model that is known as the H parameter model. So this H parameter model we have used, this model is approximate model. I will come to it later, just after discussing the output circuit. And output circuitry, how we have drawn the output circuitry? By making II equals to 0. Again go back, see what is II? II is the input current. So if you make input current is 0, you are making the input loop disconnected. So if input loop is disconnected, which circuitry is going to remain from here? This is the circuitry which is going to remain, that is the RC, RE, and the output between collector and emitter terminal. So you can see from here that this is the C, this is the E, and between C and this E we are having the two resistances. This is the RC and this is the RE, and across RE we are taking the output V0, and across RE is we are taking the feedback voltage VF. So likewise we have drawn. Now just to remind you that we are using the approximate model, and when we use the approximate model we generally use the common emitter terminology. And in common emitter terminology, what we make, we only consider the value of HIE and value of HFE. And here it is not the common emitter circuit, but we have made the common collector to be used like common emitter circuit. So these are the two elements which is present, HIE and HFE IV. If you have any doubt, you can go through the analysis of simplified model or the approximate model, and you can correlate it. So just to simplify the logics, between base and emitter we are having the HIE, and between collector and emitter terminal we are having the HFE into IB. For better understanding, I can draw a diagram for you here. This is the current source, this meets over here, and this is the terminal, this is V, this is the B, this is E, and this is C. And what is between B and E? This is HIE, and this is, what is this? This is HFE into IB. So if you remember this, you can easily correlate it with this particular circuit. So though it is not a common emitter circuit, but we have made common collector to work like a common emitter circuit by drawing the approximate model of common emitter. So this is how we have drawn it. Step number 3 and 4 is already covered because we have used the Thevenin source, that is the VS, and we are going to analyze the steps. We are going to analyze the gain A and beta after drawing this particular network. So here step 3 and 4 are already covered in the previous step, and step 5, what is the step 5? Step 5 is nothing but evaluation of A and beta. What is A? Since it is the voltage series configuration, the A without feedback, that is the AV, can be determined as V0 upon VI, and we can see from the diagram that VI is nothing but VS. Okay, since RS is also the part of the amplifier, so we can say that whatever VI which is appearing across, it is going to be equal to VS, and we have already seen that RS is going to be less than the input impedance. Here the input impedance is HIE. So whatever input we are interested to calculate, it has to be appear across the HIE. So VS is equal to VI. We have determined AV in but how we can determine AV? By knowing the value of output voltage V0. And what is V0? V0 is HFE into IB. It is multiplied with RE. So this is the current source and this is the output resistance. So if I multiply the current with the output resistance, then I will get the value of the V0. So here I have got the value of the V0, HFE IB into RE upon VS. Equation number 1 is completed. Now from input I can determine IB by writing the simple KVL equation and determining the value of the input current. So input current IB is nothing but VS upon RS plus HIE. You can see this is the input voltage and these are the two resistances. So if you are interested to find out the IB, this is nothing but VS upon RS plus HIE. So now AV can be determined by substituting the value of the IV in equation number 1. We can determine the value of the AV, and we have got the equation number 2. Now we can determine the value of the D sensitivity, 1 plus AV beta. Beta is nothing but VF upon V0, and we have seen that VF is equal to V0. So if VF equals to V0, then beta is going to be 1, obviously. So by knowing the value of beta and by knowing the value of the AV, now we can determine the value of the D. So substituting the value of AV and beta, we can determine the value of the D and we can find out this equation. just replace the value of beta and replace the value of AV in this particular equation, and then you can easily get the value of the D. And now we know that AVF is nothing but AV upon D. So you are having the AV value from equation number 2, and you are having the value of D from equation number 3. So you can determine AV upon D easily. That is nothing but AVF. So equation number 4 gives me the value of the AVF. I also know since it is the voltage series configuration, so we are mixing in the series, RIF is going to be increased, so I will be just multiplying the value of D with the RI to get the value of the RIF. And what is RI? RI is the combination of RS plus HI. So RS plus HI is multiplied with the D. We have determined the value of the D here, equation number 3. So equation number 3 is multiplied with the value of the RI, and we can get the equation number 5, that is nothing but the value of the RIF. Now last is the value of the ROF. ROF is RO upon D. Since, look at here, where we are seeing the RO is seen from the current source, and when we see the any resistance from the current source, the resistance is going to be very large, or ideally it is going to be infinity. So can we determine the value of the ROF? No, we cannot. So better to go for the ROF dash calculation, and we can then backtrack the calculation of the ROF. Okay, so how we can do it? Since we are looking into the current source, RO is going to be infinity and ROF cannot be determined. So this indeterminacy may be resolved by first evaluating the value of the ROF dash. So ROF dash is nothing but RO dash upon D. Okay, this value, this formula, RIF equals to RI into D, and ROF equals to RO upon D, that we have already calculated in the voltage series configuration, as well as we have also seen in the case of the comparison when I was explaining you the value of the different input and output resistances in the table. So here ROF dash is going to be nothing but RO dash upon D. And what is RO dash? You can see from here. RO dash is nothing but RE, because RO dash can be seen from the load of the RE. So it is going to be equal to the value of RE, and also we are using the approximate model. So if you have to find out the value of ROF dash, and if RO is in parallel with the RE, and RO is infinity, then what resistance is going to be remain? So the resistance which will be remained is nothing but RE. So we can also find out the resistance in that argument. So RO dash is equal to nothing but RE, and once I have found out the value of the RO dash, I can apply the value of the D here, and this is the value of ROF dash. Now by knowing the value of ROF dash, I can put the limit as RE tends to infinity and apply it in the value of the ROF dash, and I can easily find out the value of the ROF. Okay, so apply the limit of the RE as infinity, and you can easily find out the value of the ROF. And when you are determining this value, follow the principle of zero and pole. Okay, so then only you can determine the value of the ROF. So this is how we have discussed the value of AV, F, RIF and ROF calculation, and we have seen that how we can determine the different values by knowing the individual values. Now what we have learned the steps involved in the analysis of feedback amplifier, and what kind of questions which can be expected from this particular lecture is explain the steps involved in the analysis of feedback amplifier, or you can be asked to compare the different configurations of amplifier on the basis of different parameters that we have already plotted in the table. Thanks for watching this lecture. We will be discussing about the other topologies as well, and we will be applying our discussion of today's lecture, that how we can apply these steps to find out the solution of other configurations as well. So today this is over for voltage series configuration. Thanks.